If the British Empire and its Commonwealth last for 1,000 years, men will still say this was their finest hour.
We stand for Queen,
country, and video games. BRB UK.
Worse teeth,
better accents. Hello, and indeed ahoy hoy, and welcome to the first episode of the second lot of 250 of the BRB UK podcast. That's a very complicated. It's a very complicated way of saying it's episode 251. I'm Dan. I'm your host. Hello to all of you, and thank you for not tuning in, for downloading once again, or if you're, I suppose you could download it and play it over an FM transmitter and then tune into us. So for those few of you who are doing that, well done.
I swear you made that joke 250 episodes ago.
Yeah. Well, it's all coming full circle. That's Coleman.
Hi.
And the other one's Tim.
Hi.
Good cat-like reactions there, Tim. Fantastic. How are you, chaps?
Yeah, good. You?
Yeah, 250 was a bit weird, wasn't it? That show went odd.
It was an experience.
It went places.
People seemed to like it. It was okay.
It did seem to go down well.
Went down well.
Good.
Like a nice
Because I kind of didn't have a clue by the end. And it was too hot in my little man cave, which is why I was like, no, Great British Debate, I'm out.
Is that a euphemism?
Well, no. But it could be.
Hot in your little man cave.
Hot in my little man cave. I no longer do I need to mule stuff across the state lines of Slough.
Just got to write that down as a potential title.
It's possibly hotter today, but we've got less Scottish people, so I don't know what that means for the balance of the show. But
where's John? I thought he was back.
No, it's Thursday. He's not going to be here.
Wasn't that going to mark like he's back full time now?
Yeah. So anyway, but the good news is that, I'm not sure we announced it, but the 500th episode will record on or around April the 14th, 2000, and was it 21?
Sounds about right.
Or 22? Moses. I might be off by a year. It's a bloody long time, the distance. I'm going to be like 40, I'm going to be like 42.
I think we should do that one live from the moon.
Well, assuming if Trump's got anything to do with it, Trump might still be in power and there might not be a world left.
Yeah, the moon might be the safest place to podcast from.
And why are there no when you've been tangoed Donald Trump memes yet?
Because that was the 90s.
Tango in America.
But if you shaved him...
Maybe they actually
I'd want to do that. Shave Donald Trump, put him in a nappy, here's the tango man. What, Saudi? He's got a complete disregard for the Paris Agreement. What?
You know, like,
anyway,
50% of our listener base will not understand that.
Well,
I've seen our stats, man. I see the age ratings and countries and stuff.
So what have you chaps been up to anyway?
Sweating.
Gaming.
No, yes.
Gaming and sweating.
Gaming some games.
Right.
I cleaned the dust out of mine, Alex's, and Tim's PS4s today. That was quite fun.
Wow, I thought you had a job now.
That starts on Monday.
Oh, right. That explains that then. Your mystery job.
Tim, how long have you had your PS4?
Since launch?
Yeah. Not so much of a layer of dust as a carpet.
Seriously, Tim. You're flat. Not good. Things die in there.
Not my fault.
PS4s just attract dust.
Yeah, they suck up dust. What can you do?
So aside from those first world problems, chaps, everything all right?
Yeah, good. All good.
You're still not going to tell me what your job is, are you, Coleman?
I believe I told you off mic.
Oh, but come on, it's far more... I'm trying to get a bit of a running thing going here, so you can make up something ridiculous every single week.
I had to cut some of it out last time because I said too much.
Oh, did you?
And he cut for the last time. He cannot tell you he's a secret agent. That's the first rule of being a secret agent.
Coleman the secret squirrel. That's what they call me now.
Coleman Felcher of dogs. That's your job. You defelch dogs. You defelch dogs. Do you defelch dogs?
That is not a thing, Dan.
I don't understand your question.
Anyway, chaps.
Yes.
Talking of anuses, I think that's the link I'm going for here.
Right.
eBay is taking on the scalpers.
Whoa!
Happy days.
Yay.
Because as we live price checked on last week's show, they're completely sold out already, even though they haven't probably made many of them yet. Super Nintendo
Classic Edition
System Classics. People who had got a pre-order were already selling them for approximately £5 billion on eBay. And so eBay have gone, No, thank you very much. They're all sitting around 200 to 300 quid compared to the actual street cost of the console, which is £80.
The street price of the SNES
The street price. Mate, seriously, it's like a Class A substance trying to get hold of one of these. Seriously, you'd be hanging around the street corner, it's probably the only place you can get them.
Mate,
tell you what.
Have you got any SNES classics?
Have you got any SNES? Oh, I need some SNES.
I mean,
give me a bit of Mode 7. I need a little bit of Mode 7. Tell you what, mate, I'll give you Mode 6, all right? I'll give you Mode 6 a little start, and then you come let me know. All right? All right?
Lovely.
Nice. So, good on you, eBay, for basically kicking all of these
it's like
listings
they listened to the show,
curb.
because we actually complained about it last week.
No, it's like all the prices went up, everyone complained, loads of different sites decided to report on it because the same thing happened with the Nintendo Entertainment System Classic Edition, and eBay, as a knee-jerk reaction, reacted. So, I don't... it's good that they're doing it, but this is... So me and Tim were talking about this yesterday in regards to eBay stopped scalpers selling tickets to gigs, events, and other things that might require a ticket for. But the reason for that wasn't because they went, hey, scalpers are selling tickets on our site and that's not cool. It's because Ticketmaster were taking them to court because people were selling not just scalp tickets but counterfeit tickets.
Well, there is a bit of a wrinkle to this, of course, that at the moment they have removed them. But according to an eBay representative who shall name nameless,
Jeff.
Bob, yeah.
Jeff
E-Bob.
Bob,
Jeff Bob.
E-Bob.
E-Bob. Jeff E-Bob, the eBay
Jeff
representative. Jeff E-Bob.
They're going to, from henceforth, they're going to remove listings for pre-release items and accessories if the release date of the item is more than 30 days away.
Yeah.
Which means all of these things are going to come back just 30 days
just
from the
after
launch.
the release, okay.
No. Like within 30. So more than 30 days away, i.e. you can sell it up to 30 days before the aforementioned street date.
Right.
Yo, it is your boy.
Before it hits the streets, yo.
So, so that's basically why we can't have nice things anymore.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see if they do anything other than just removing listings before in future, because we see this all the time with hot ticket items. They end up sold out quickly on eBay, inflated, pain in the arse.
Yeah, and I'll be more interested I don't know how far off the next major console release is, but I'll be interested to see
Tuesday.
what they do with that as well. But I don't think they should be able to sell those things 30 days after they've released, kind of thing. I mean, like, there should be a grace period.
Tim, no, 30 days before they release. It's pre-release. They're allowed to sell.
Yeah, but he's saying,
30 days.
Yeah, but I'm saying that it should be the opposite way around. It
It
should be 30 days after release so that the initial shipment of them go to genuine fans, not scalpers.
Well, the one thing you have to remember in this is that eBay makes its profit off the commission on items.
Yes, and if they get enough complaints about people saying they shouldn't do this, they will stop doing it.
Nah, they won't.
I'm wondering if any kind of bodying watchdog or anything could get involved with this kind of thing if enough
That's
people...
the other
Quick,
thing. If
write
they
Steph
don't,
McGovern a letter.
then regulations
Dear
may
Steph.
be the way to go, basically. Because I don't think
Dear
they should be allowed
Steph,
to do
that
it.
bird off House of
Happens
Cards
too much.
nick your hairdo. I hope you're incensed about it. By the way, what do you think about eBay? Yours, BRB UK. If you're listening, Steph, sort it out.
We
love.
know you are.
Yeah, she went to the same university as me, Steph McGovern.
Yeah?
And eBay.
Yeah, she did.
Good for you.
And eBay, yes, eBay went to the same university.
What does she
as me.
think of the SNES Classic Edition?
It's great.
There you go. Officially
There we
endorsed.
go. Absolutely. Yeah, so anyway, that's about it for the SNES Mini Classic at the
Have
moment.
you pre-ordered a SNES Mini Classic yet, Dan?
I have tried. I've signed up to loads of things going, please tell me when I can buy one. No emails.
No emails
Not-
for you.
Not liking your chances, my friend. Do
No.
No, I'm not liking my chances either. At least there's always eBay.
you know what I am liking the chances are?
What?
A new character coming to Overwatch.
Wow, that was a great segue.
I thought you might like that.
Carry on.
So on the Overwatch blog, they did a fictional in-universe news report on Doomfist.
A Funiverse, if you will.
A Funiverse, if you will, yes. So Doomfist is a character that's mentioned in the first cinematic trailer pre-render thing where things happen, but they're all fighting over this. Yes, all right.
Things happen.
I can't remember the name, so I
Jeez.
didn't want to embarrass myself. But now I've padded for time. I can remember it's Tracer and Winston fighting Reaper and
Someone.
E-Bob.
Sniper Widow. I can't.
Sniper Widow.
No. It's E-Bob again.
Purple Sniper. Big
Widowmaker.
Butt. That's the one.
Widowmaker.
Widowmaker. Thank you. They're fighting each other in like
By the way, can I just say, somewhere in Tim's flat, Alex just exploded.
She did. The whole video shows those four fighting it out over the attempted hijacking of a
SNES Mini Classic
that belongs to this hero called Doomfist. So it's been rumoured for quite some time that Doomfist will be a character in the game. Go, Dan.
Does he have a Doomfist, or is that the Fist of Doom that they were guarding?
I believe he has a Doomfist, and he is called Doomfist, and it appears to be a moniker that's been given to different characters according to hints in the lore of the game.
So if that fist isn't the Doomfist, why are they guarding the fist?
I don't know. I don't know, Dan. Don't ask me questions about games I don't play.
Okay, just make a reason up then.
Because magnets, how do they work? Miracle.
Brilliant, that covered. Brilliant, marvellous, good.
Anyway, so there's the Nabani map in the game. In this report, it says that Reaper has broken out this Doomfist fellow from from Nabani, and in a recent update, that map shows damage, which is meant to be Doomfist breaking out. Also, there was a patch last week.
Was it a massive patch?
Massive.
I believe it was a moderate patch.
A moderate patch.
Okay. A patch of indeterminate magnitude.
Which was internally referenced as the Doomfist Summer Games update.
That's a bit of a clue.
A lot of people think that with the new Summer Games coming this year, there will also be the update of Doomfist. And even more people are hoping that Doomfist is played by Terry Crews, because there's been this weird grassroots campaign to get Terry Crews to be the voice actor of Doomfist, which I'll be happy with. Not really that interested in Overwatch, but I do like the videos they release, and if Terry Crews is any of them, I'll be quite happy with that. That man's got a good voice.
He might be busy being Crackdown Man.
Yeah, and he's in Crackdown. And Old Spice adverts.
So far, one of the few redeeming reasons to play that game, as far as I can work out.
Okay.
Yes, well, Crackdown it is. Overwatch is splendid. I quite like Overwatch. I'm not very good at it.
But Doomfist may be coming to Overwatch, so there you go.
Doomfist.
It looks likely.
What's Doomfist's real name?
Jeff Briggs.
Fist of Doom.
Is he mates with E-Bob?
Yes. Jeffy Bob.
Brilliant.
Jeffy Bob. Jeffy Bob.
Jeffy Bob.
Jeffy Bob.
Anyway, next up we have news.
News. I thought we were doing news.
You know how Sony discovers the internet and has the highest speed downloads known to man?
Oh, of course.
On the PlayStation Store, literally saturating their 56.6K modem every single day of the week, every day of the year,
every damn
year
day
of time, every instance of space-time continuums in the things. They like the downloading.
I like that none of that was in sarcasm whatsoever.
No. Yeah, so PlayStation Now, the streaming service that just won't die.
All right, that genuinely caught me off guard then.
So now it's, as we all know, it's been a more Netflix model. They're starting to add more games to it. So apparently there were just PS3 games. Now 20 PS4 games, although there have been some re-releases in there as well, if you count that, have been added to the service that include titles such as Killzone Shadowfall, Saints Row 4 Re-Elected.
That is a PS4 game.
Yep, WWE 2K16.
Ooh.
And the first of these games, which will actually be playable over such a service, is Tropico 5, F1 2015, which will be horrendous with lag. There's a load of other stuff. What else is there? Shadow of the Beast's in there, Resogun, God of War 3, Green Fandango remasters. I mean, some of these will work quite well with a laggy service, which I'm afraid there's no two ways about it. PlayStation Now is. That's not going to go well.
Blood Bowl 2 will be fine.
Fluster Clark.
That's good.
Yeah.
There's Kickbeat Special Edition, which is pants.
Pure chess too.
Oh, you love it. You get your chess on again, mate.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not this uncut ultra chess.
Farming Simulator 15.
Woo!
Oh, Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishment is a good Sherlock Holmes game as well.
Definitive Edition.
I mean, the cost of the service is still, $12.99. Let's call it £13 a month. Mm-hmm. And you can stream games not only on your PS4 but also your PC. I believe they removed support for all the other various devices like Bravia, Tellies and stuff a little while ago.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I think what Microsoft's offering is a far more attractive value proposition where you actually get to download the damn thing.
And it's £3 cheaper.
Yeah, and it's £3 cheaper, and you're not going to have to put up with lag. And I'm sure Sony are just desperately trying to get return on their investment in Gaikai.
Also, during E3, they were talking about actually launching games on the Xbox service. So if they start doing that as well, then yeah, it's gonna, it's going to be running circles around PlayStation.
And unfortunately, as this generation's gone on, I think Sony are slowly slipping back to the way they were just before the PS3, where they've got a bit too much hubris once again. And as a result, they're slightly taking their eye off the ball in some respects.
I don't necessarily think that's the case overall.
Oh, just because you've got a rectally mounted PSVR, Timothy.
or no, I don't think that's... Well, I don't think that's the case generally, but I especially don't think that's really the case in this instance. I just think it's...
Really?
Yeah, I just think, like you say, they're trying to get a return on this investment and kind of seemingly separating it out from something else. I think it's a series of slightly bad decisions. I don't necessarily think they're made from a position of hubris, though. They're just like, I think it was just slightly bad timing. It seemed to take them a long time to integrate it, and then they integrated it in a manner that wasn't the best way to do so.
I still remain surprised that, because one of my E3 predictions that didn't come true,
the butt plug,
was that they were going to slash some dosh off the PS4 Pro, and I'm still surprised they didn't do that. I mean, I don't think whether or not they're convinced they can just style it out, but Microsoft are bringing it with the Xbox One X. They are properly bringing it.
I don't think they need to reduce the price of the PS4 Pro in light of the price that the Xbox One X came out at.
Yeah, there is that.
There is that.
At the moment, yeah, they are the industry leader until such a time where they're not. Then I mean, they're not doing the whole, we're the best, look at us, here's a new expensive console, you'll get a second job to buy it. They're not doing any of that anymore. They're just kind of doing what they do, and they're being quiet. I think if they believe Xbox pose a threat, then they'll start to act. That's kind of what it feels like at the moment, because it doesn't feel like they're resting on their laurels. It just feels like they're being quiet. There's got to be something in the pipeline.
But yeah,
tough on Xboxes, tough on the causes of Xboxes.
But also, I think Xbox have started making good decisions, yes, but they're good decisions that are catching them up to things that are already the way that PlayStation decided to do things from the off type thing in most cases, apart from this. And yeah, that makes the whole PlayStation Now thing seem a less value case. I still think that despite a few strong months of Xbox games with gold, I still think that PlayStation Plus is really kicking ass and taking names, especially with this month's stuff. And I actually think, leading on from that, the whole PlayLink edition is a new kind of style of gaming almost. It's something we've seen already in use with the kind of Jackbox party stuff, but I think that could be a big asset for PlayStation and just making games accessible to more people, basically.
Yeah. Plus, I will give this one kind of big highlight for PlayStation Now. If you haven't had a PlayStation 3 or 4 before, and you play games on a PC, here's a good way to play a load of PlayStation games that you never would have played before. And some of them are exclusive to just PlayStation, like Killzone or Heavy Rain or Tearaway. So yeah, it's got that going for it, I guess.
Yeah.
It does seem more of a highlight for PC players than it does PlayStation players.
Yeah, this is true. This is very true. Anyway, talking of, we've talked about rectally mounted PSVRs for Tim. Rectally mounted amiibos, Coleman, off you go.
It's not rectally mounted.
It's actually up your ass. Sorry, terribly sorry.
Oh,
Carry on.
Damn it, I'm going to come over. I'm going to show you the area back of my hand.
Yeah, I shall baffle you with roundabouts.
Right, I've got no amiibo news, so shut the hell up. It's there was a Splatoon 2 Nintendo Direct while you guys were at work, and I was prepping the agenda, so I got to watch that.
Excellent.
Splat away.
I won't go through everything, because most of it was they were showing off every single new weapon and all the new kind of modes and stuff. But you can watch the Nintendo Direct for yourself through Nintendo's official challenge. Just stop laughing, Tim. God damn it. Throw me off. through Nintendo's official YouTube channel. The highlights are that there's a bunch of new gear, which are the clothings and armors and that kind of thing. New in-game vendors, weapons, game modes. Also, when you're in the vendors now, and they have this one character called Sheldon or Shelder, I think his name was. And
let me guess, they're a turtle.
No, more like a clam. But he keeps talking and talking and talking, and that's like one of the jokes of him is he's very in depth about the weapons he produces. So
in depth.
Now they've actually allowed you
under the sea depth.
Now they've actually allowed you to skip his text. So that's quite a highlight for Splatoon.
Fair enough.
There's also a bunch of new modes that they were showing off as well. The biggest news is that there's a demo for Splatoon 2 taking place on the 15th of July from 5 till 9 p.m. I believe. You can pre-download the demo on the 7th of July, and that will allow you to set up and choose your team ready for the first Splatfest to happen. There was also
cake versus ice cream. Is that the one?
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Like
that age-old battle.
Well, we always got the really rubbish Splatfest in the UK. We got things like cookies or ice cream, daddy or chips, that kind of stuff. Over in the US, they would have Decepticons versus the is it the Megatrons?
Megatrons?
I forget their names.
Versus the Megatron.
The
Get out.
Autobots,
Get
thank you.
out.
I didn't watch
Get out,
Transformers,
Coleman.
all right? But they would give you...
Tim, evict his ass right now.
But they would give...
You have the power.
They would give you not just colour-coordinated clothes, but they would give you like a cool T-shirt with a Decepticon logo on it or something, whatever you were representing. But we didn't get that kind of licensed stuff in the UK. So I'm hoping that starts coming over to our Splatfest in the UK.
That'd be good.
Hey, do you know who the favourite gaming peripheral maker is for Splatoon?
No?
Razor Clams? Razor Clams. Razor... tried.
You didn't try very hard.
No, I didn't. You're right. It's too bloody hot.
Yeah, I have to say though, Splatoon is one of those games turning my head in the direction of a Nintendo Switch and making me go, oh, I wouldn't mind one of those. Like, I really
You can still buy them for the cheap price of £330 from Computer Exchange.
Allow me to turn your head back the other way, my friend Tim, because let me tell you about Splatnet 2.
Why? What?
Oh, God.
So Splatnet 2, it's not that bad. I'm just winding you up.
Is that a man gravy catching device?
Splatnet 2 is...
You're there, surf the internet. You just bought a new monitor, an expensive keyboard. You need the Splatnet.
Splatnet 2 is a tie-in mobile app that runs through the Nintendo online app that tracks your stats.
Oh, so it's an app within an app?
Well, it's an option.
Appception.
Yes. So I'm assuming you open up Nintendo Online and then you download it within the app, I guess. Maybe add on, who knows. Keeps all your apps in one handy place, most probably. But you get to track all your stats. You can look through your past 50 matches to see what your if you could check the opposing team, what gear, what weapons they're using, what their win-loss ratio is. You can genuinely see if their weapons are better than your weapons, if that's something you want to go for, that kind of thing. Also, that's the app that you'll be using for the game's chat options, if it's text chat or plugging it into...
How the hell do you use text chat while playing Splatoon?
No, it's like, like we send messages through the PlayStation. It's that sort of chat. It doesn't mean for all the time. It'd be so you could speak to your friends that are playing Splatoon 2 and go, hey, lads, let's go play some Splatoon 2.
AFK.
Aye.
All right, Sean B.
That sounds nothing like Sean B.
It does sound a bit like he's vaguely northern.
Anyway, yes, so the Splatnet 2 service is going to launch alongside the game on the 21st of July.
Keeping keyboards clean since 2017. That's its strapline.
Good. Anyway,
good.
Talk about Destiny 2, Dan, because I know you want to.
Yeah, a trailer dropped just before we went live today, confirming all the details for the open beta. So, for those of you who give a damn, like me, it starts first on the PS4 on July 18th, so that's just over a week from now, at 6 p.m. UK time. That's BST UK time.
How many alarms have you got set for this already?
Well, I plan to probably be awake like a normal person at 6 in the evening.
Okay.
Is that for everyone to join, Dan?
No, that is for people who pre-order the game. And one day later, if you're a chap or chaphead who likes to play these things on the Xbox One, that's when your pre-order access to the beta goes live on July 19th at 6 p.m. UK time.
But Dan, I don't wish to pre-order the game of Destiny 2 until I have played said beta, so I could use it as a demo.
Well, Coleman, that is fine. I am glad you brought that up.
Good.
Because for you, young fella my lad, the festivities start on July the 21st, again, starting at 6 p.m. BST, and the beta ends for everybody on July the 23rd at 5 a.m. UK time.
But,
for some
Dan,
reason.
July the 21st is when Splatoon 2 comes out.
Oh, no! Well...
Sorry. Oh, no!
You're going to have to choose, Dan. You're going to have to choose.
None of us have a Switch, so that's that.
I've already simplified it by not having a Switch, exactly.
Yeah.
But all of this is all well and good, unless you're on the PC, because then your beta starts at some point in August. More to follow. And it looks like it's going to be...
Does the game release like the month before?
Yeah, something like that. So it looks like you're getting the first mission out of the campaign, a strike...
Ooh.
And some multiplayer, but it's unclear whether or not, because I think they possibly this is all because it's relatively the original size of the game, but I think with the Destiny 1 beta, they probably showed a little too much. So I think it's not going to be as much to do as you had in the Destiny beta.
I don't really think they showed that much.
They showed like a quarter of the game, really.
Yeah, that was the problem. They showed one of the areas, and in doing so... a quarter of the game took place in that area.
They didn't show any of the story.
Yeah, because the internet went, oh, great, I'm sure this is just a bit of Earth, and it must have been Bungie going,
And Coleman, to pick up your point, they didn't show any story in the first game.
That is an excellent point. I know I'm a Destiny apologist, but that is true. Anyway, so Destiny 2 goodness, and doubtless I will be on that shizzle-dizzle.
Just a quick point, we should probably say, if you're going to be in the Destiny 2 beta in the early days or in the later days or on what
or in the end of days,
maybe let us know on the forums, and then we could probably try some kind of Gamer Night thing.
Yes, that sounds
or maybe
nice.
the Gamer Night group on Facebook.
Indeed.
Either will do.
Anyway, talking of stuff, we done played some stuff, chaps.
But Dan,
we did.
What have you played this week? Sorry, I won't keep doing that.
Well, Coleman, thank you for asking. I played a bit of the LawBreakers open beta. So this is the new, I will call it a spiritual successor to Unreal Tournament in many ways, and it's officially Cliffy B's third midlife crisis.
I keep on forgetting you're part of the PC Master Race these days, and therefore abandoning us consolites.
No, I still play on the console. I do. I was playing on the console earlier today.
Destiny.
I still maintain Diablo 3 is at its best on the console rather than PC.
So LawBreakers is the arena shooter style with like no gravity.
It looks fun,
thing, right?
I have to say.
Well, I mean, essentially what it is, it's like if Unreal Tournament had the movement mechanics of the pilot mode in Titanfall, is how I would describe it. With a little bit of kind of very light team playing Overwatchness to it in the form of abilities. My problem with it is that, I mean, again, it is only a beta, but it felt very, very unbalanced. I mean, there's kind of, the setup is this, you play either as the good guys or the bad guys, and they all have, like, the same classes available to them.
Right.
But there's one class which is basically very, very fast and very, very up close, melee shotgun, kill everything.
Do all the bad guys just exactly the same people, just with moustaches?
Yes, that's the well-known way of defining someone as bad, unless you live in India where actually having moustaches is a cultural representation of being an upstanding chap.
Oh, good to know.
Did you some learning there, Timothy?
Maybe.
Yes, but it's all, the preposition is bad guys are stealing stuff, you the good guys have got to stop them. So it's all objective-based game modes, but it is very unbalanced. The kind of the melee range characters, and because it might just be because I'm a doddery old fool these days.
That could be Dan.
The ones that because everything moves so fast, you literally cannot react in time.
That might be because you're old.
Yeah, that sounds like an old
I think it probably
thing.
is because I'm old, but it also
You're
started
old,
feeding on very quick. I mean, all of the maps that were on offer were
old.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks for helping the flow of this. This is great. all of the maps were essentially, you remember from Unreal 2004, like the Facing Worlds map, I think it was called? It was basically that. You have one base, the other base, directly opposite each other. There you have a bundle in the middle. The end.
So how does the anti-gravity stuff come into this?
I know you can shoot backwards to go forwards for some reason.
Yeah, it didn't. It's certainly in the beta, to my mind, they didn't capitalise on that as much as they should have. I mean, I'm hoping that it makes a bit more of an impact in kind of the ebb and flow of the game in its final form. But at the moment, it slightly felt like derivative verticality shooter.
Okay, was it just a bit gimmicky, basically? Or?
Yeah. And joking aside, it genuinely does feel like Cliffy B's going, oh God, I've got to be culturally relevant again. Let's do a thing.
I don't know. It does look like a polished game, no? Like it looks good
visually. However, I still maintain I think the mechanics need some balancing and quite a bit of balancing to go. But after all, that's the whole point of having pre-release tests is doing these things. So it may well turn about, but I came away from it feeling it was all talk and no trousers, so to speak.
Just because you mentioned it before and you mentioned it again, and we kind of had a go at you for being old and stuff. Do you think, I was thinking about this, I think it's more relevant in kind of actual esport classes type things, but do you think FPS games should have, like, age classes in the same way that, like, boxing has, like, weight classes?
If you're asking, do I want to get off my lawn playlist? Yes, I do.
Yeah. Like, I want that. A list of people the same age as you, just so you actually know that you're at least competing on a kind of level playing field in terms of possible abilities kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I'm not joking. Seriously, I am nowhere near as good at FPSs as I used to, just because I just cannot react as quickly.
I think it would be a genuinely good thing. And I don't know, but I imagine you could probably read the age from someone's profile kind of information, no?
Yeah, assuming they're telling the truth.
Yeah, but most people are going to generally be claiming the same age.
No, the young whippersnappers will view us as easy pickings.
Yeah.
They'll lie.
Yeah.
They will.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Yep. But anyway, so LawBreakers is a thing. I don't think it's quite making enough of its kind of USP, but it's still early days. I mean, I think the game's not out till the end of this month, I think?
I thought it was the start of next, but around that time. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So they've still got time to fix. And I mean, at the end of the day, the core game seems to work. It is just tweaking. They need
lots of balance.
So anyway, that's what I done played. Aside from reveling in Diablo 3's massive patch.
If you listen to the Big Red Barrel cast, there's lots of talk of that from Kev. Such as Dan predicted last week.
Verily.
Hey, can we talk about what we done?
Yeah. We got to go do something exciting, Dan.
Dear man, Coleman's Adventure Day. Woo!
Yeah.
Did you go to Finchley Central?
No, we went further afield.
We went to Richmond.
Wow, you went
all the way to Richmond.
My old knocking grounds.
All the way to the other end of another tube line, Dan. That's how far we went.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was a lovely day. We had a picnic. It was beautiful.
Well, basically...
Right, got stabbed. That was a lark. Yeah, basically, Namco Bandai have just kind of moved into new digs, like, I think last year sometime, basically. But it's the first time that I think either myself or Coleman had gone to visit them, basically. And yeah, this was a kind of post-E3 event kind of presentation type thing where they were showing off their games that they'd had at E3 for anyone that wasn't able to go out there and see stuff. And they also had a kind of exclusive showing of the non-PS VR version of Ace Combat 7 as well, basically. Ooh.
But yeah, we'll come back to that in a minute. Should we go in the order of the games that we got to?
Yes, I think we should talk about Dragon Ball Fighters.
Dragon Ball, that was definitely more your thing.
Oh, is it Fighters as in a yo, it's your boy kind of way?
They did make that clear, that is the case.
I think it's just because it's in the Dragon Ball Z universe and they need to tie in the Z into something because they do that.
And they've used lots of other words already, so...
Why not go Dragon Ball Z Fighters?
That's what they did, Dan.
I think they're already... Well, no, it's Dragon Ball Fighters.
No, it's Dragon Ball Fighters.
Yeah. I think they may have already used Dragon Ball Z Fighters. Anyway, so the previous two games in the series have been Dragon Ball Xenoverse and Xenoverse 2. That was...
I have a question.
Okay.
Why didn't they have the letter Z in their name? Z, rather. Sorry, I went American there for a minute.
That's
why didn't they have the letter Z in their name?
Because it was Zeno.
Because it was Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse.
No, Xenoverse is spelled with an X.
Yes, it was Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse.
Zeno.
Oh,
with
off.
Z.
Oh, God.
Dragon Ball Z.
Anyway.
Oh, God.
Anyway, that was a weird mishmash of sort of the Kensai Budokai games, the third-person fighters with a little bit of open arena, and also the Korean MMO that never made its way to the States or Europe.
Right.
And they kind of mixed those two things together and went, okay, here's Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse 1 and 2. And they were very similar to each other. They were good games. They lasted me a little while. But this is more going back to a 2D style fighter. And as Tim pointed out as we were playing, it's very much, they've taken all the Dragon Ball Z characters and stuck them in Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Yeah.
So there's 3-on-3 battles, blisteringly beautiful cartoon graphics, and it's insane fun.
Yeah, and massive like assist moves and big kind of air juggling combos. And Coleman, this was a rare thing where you kicked my ass at a fighting game, basically.
Yeah, because button mashing really helped.
So you were really happy. And but yeah, like as I said, it felt very much Marvel vs. Capcom 3 like, and yeah, I think I said, oh, this was where all the crazy went from Marvel vs. Capcom. They siphoned it off into this game. Even though I lost, I had a good time playing. And I don't know the Dragon Ball universe as well as Mr. Coleman does. But I didn't know it as well as you did, but I still, managed to enjoy the game.
I have a question.
Okay.
Do you see any Dragon Balls?
Not in the one we played.
Oh.
I'm assuming
why are
at
they
some
calling
point.
it that then? Why is it called Dragon Ball?
Because the whole series is called Dragon Ball.
No, but why is the series called Dragon Ball?
Because there's Dragon Balls.
Yeah, what do the Dragon Balls look like?
in the damn game, damn.
Yeah, and
Well, no, what are Dragon Balls? What is a Dragon Ball?
Dragon Ball, there are 7 Dragon Balls, and if they're scattered out throughout the earth, if you find them all and putting them all together, you can summon the mighty dragon Shenron, and then Shenron will grant you one wish. There are also Dragon Balls that exist on other planets, such as Namekian Dragon Balls from the planet Namek.
Why is it a singular Dragon Ball where it clearly should be plural Dragon Balls? It should be Dragon Balls. Z.
That's what the Z's for.
yeah, it's the Z. Come on,
that
Dad,
was the
keep
sound
up
of my
with this
mind being
century.
blown, ladies and gentlemen,
blown.
right there.
Anyway, so it's going to be interesting because traditionally the Dragon Ball games, back in the day when they were releasing like Famicom stuff and Nintendo stuff, and it was all to tie in through the series at that time, and then the same with the place. Then as they came to the US and the UK, they were more just straight fighters. Then as they've progressed and they've become this weird kind of third-person version of the game, it's retelling the story that is already complete, and they spin off into GT and stuff. And then with the Xenoverse stuff, they basically brought in this whole messing around with the timeline and different alternate scenarios. This is just a straight shooter like they used to do. So it's going to be interesting to see how they explain this, like if there's going to be a story behind it, especially with this whole Team of 3 stuff, because you can mix like Cell and Frieza and Majin Buu, who are all from different chapters within the Dragon Ball Z.
I have no idea what
I'm realizing that I'm saying a lot of stuff here.
It's all right. I'll cover him on this one, Coleman. I have been educated enough to know that they are some of the enemies from different series of Dragon Ball.
But I've got a question then. Is it fun just to knock 7 shades of crap out of one another in this game?
Yeah, as I said, even though I don't really know the lore or the characters, and I think there was 6 different characters that we could choose from, so it's slightly limited, but I'm guessing they were some of the fan favourites then, Coleman?
Yeah, it was, we had Super Saiyan versions of Goku, Vegeta, who's my favourite, and Gohan. And
Vegeta? What?
Vegeta.
Oh,
Fajita.
Fajitas, yeah. I like him because he's got a receding hairline, so I've always kind of connected to that for some reason.
All right. Vegeta. Okay, good. Got that.
On the bad guy side, as I said earlier, you've got Cell, Majin Buu, and Frieza. So those are the rosters that we had to play with.
Yeah.
Splendid. Well, talking of returning cast of characters, Ni no Kuni 2, does it have any...
Ni no Kuni!
Does it have a Welsh... Does it have Mr. Drippy?
Doesn't have Drippy, has a new Welsh character.
It's more a returning world than a returning cast of characters, actually.
Right, so what is the dealio, Timothy?
Right, and I think I'm not sure what time in period after the first game it is, but it is sometime afterwards. I think it was something like 100 years, or it was a good period of time type thing.
Was the best of times.
Was the worst of times.
It kind of seems like without
a tale of two drippies.
Yeah, without having the kind of children centralising
come on,
things.
Coleman, that was worth the titter.
I laughed.
It's not Drippy anymore. It's a character called Lofty, who also has a Welsh accent.
That does sound very Welsh, though, Lofty.
Yes,
Lofty?
It sounds a bit more Welsh than Drippy, perhaps. But,
sort of to kind of add some backstory to this, on the way in, we were talking about Ni no Kuni 2, and I said that there's no Drippy in the game, so I need a new Welsh character. Then when they played us a trailer for the game before we got to go play it, and then there's this little tiny character, and he's like, "Come on, boy, we gotta mix our magic together." And immediately, me and Tim started like, Welsh guy, got it. Game of the year.
But basically, you're kind of taking the role of a young king, King Evan, I think it was. Yeah, I'm not too sure. We didn't go too much into the backstory of exactly what's going on, but you're coming in at a time where he's kind of... there's a problem with a kingmaker, which seems like a large monster type thing that usually looks after the city and kind of has a bond with the king of that city, but is attacking the city for some reason, basically. And we got to play like a couple of different levels. That was one of the main levels where we were battling a big kind of dragon type thing. And yeah, the combat's a bit different to how it was in the last game. It's not just the characters that changed, but the way that you do combat. And what were the little things called again?
Controllers, Timothy.
Yeah, no, I can't remember. Those little creatures. I think they're in the first one as well, aren't they?
No. These are slightly different, and that's one of the main differences.
Let's come up with a completely original name for them. We'll call them Pikmin. Yeah.
Well, they do look a bit.
Me and you, Coleman, we've always been on a level.
Nerdlings, it was something. Anyway, but yeah, you've got these little kind of creatures that come in, by the looks of things, 4 different flavours.
Pikmin.
You're not that you're eating them, but you're basically in the boss fight with the kind of dragon thing. It's weird. You're in a kind of circular sort of area where the boss is attacking you from the front.
Let's call it a ring.
Yeah. But then it's not. It's a kind of island in the lava type
God,
thing.
Timothy, anyway, carry on, for the love of God.
But basically, you're kind of either walking around or dodging to not get hit by the kind of fireballs and things that are being thrown at you. And you activate the small creatures by walking in the center of them when it's indicating that they're ready to help, and then pressing X, and then they'll help you in some way. The green ones generally give you health. The red ones seem to make you fireproof.
There's little fire ones, and they kind of create a little protective ring around you.
Yeah.
You can stand inside. So
and it stops the fire attacks from the boss hurting you type of thing. So it's not just a case of getting the right ones at the right time, but it's also a case of them being available to help you at the right time as well, which was kind of a weird mechanic, but it generally kind of worked, and you're chipping away and doing the damage to the boss with kind of some of your long distance spells and attacking his claws as he's like clawing up onto the land at the front, basically. And yeah, like that fight was toughish kind of thing. It took me a couple of attempts to actually like get through and beat the boss type thing, but I think once you get used to all the kind of combat mechanics and once you were playing it, I don't know what level that was on, but it definitely didn't seem like it would be very tough overall, because not only can you get the creatures to heal you, you've also got a healing spell as well, and that's on a cooldown timer and stuff like that, so that's why you can like come a cropper basically. But once you got used to all those mechanics, it does seem like it's going to be a bit on the easy side. That's my only slight concern for it in terms of like gameplay and stuff like that.
But one of the problems with the original Ni no Kuni is that the difficulty fell off a cliff about the third of the way through, didn't it? It suddenly got brutal, that game.
But I'll be interested to see. That's one of the things I'll be interested to see, like how the end game comes out. But generally speaking, because there was some worry about how it would appear graphically and storytelling wise, and obviously the storytelling is something that we didn't really get a great taste for in the kind of 2 boss battles we did, basically. But yeah, I don't know. It definitely looks the part, and it definitely looks exactly, as beautiful, if not more, than the previous game did in terms of like a really nice kind of anime style of graphics. And that looks really good. And as long as the writing kind of keeps up with it, which I guess is still a little bit of a concern going forward. But yeah, it's shaping up nicely.
Well, I was impressed, like before we actually got to play the game ourselves, and we were being shown the presentation thing, that it did show that there are members of Studio Ghibli involved in the game, which was a worry for me because when they announced it originally, they said nothing of Studio Ghibli, and I thought they just they're not doing this project now. And as a big Ghibli fan, like that was the big appeal for Ni no Kuni to me. So until I got to actually play Ni no Kuni 2, I hadn't been interested in it at all.
I do kind of hear rumours that they are a little bit less hands-on with it, but then I don't think they necessarily need to be. Like they've built the kind of graphical engine that they had before, that they might be polishing it and showing it to them and kind of getting their approval there, but I don't think it's something that they need to be as heavily integrated, at least on the technical side of things, basically. And that's what I said, it will be interesting to see how much of a part they play in the original the creation of an original story for this type thing, and it'd be interesting to see how much that does actually, if at all, mix into the story of the previous game. It will just be like little references, or whether there'll be bigger things that cross over. I don't know, but yeah, overall, kind of there's definitely some areas of possible concern, but it looks really nice and played quite well. So
right, before we move on to the other games, Dan has some breaking news. Breaking Overwatch news.
Okay, well, I giveth with one fist and taketh away with the other. Okay, I'm just going to warn you. Doomfist is confirmed, and he's come to the game later today, Coleman.
Oh, really?
Later today.
He's coming today.
Today, Coleman.
Okay, and how do gamers of Overwatch get to play as Doomfist?
Load up Overwatch. Download a patch, I believe. I need to double check that story.
On the public test realm on PC.
May well be. Let's have a look.
Alex may have whispered that in my ear.
Yeah, on the public test realm.
Sorry, console guys. Dan, are you looking forward to playing Doomfist on the PC?
I can play him right now if you want me to. I can give you fresh fist-on impressions. But one thing is confirmed.
Okay.
He is not voiced by Terry Crews.
Oh, who's voicing him?
E-Bob.
Someone that isn't
Jim
Terry
Sterling.
It's Jim.
I'd pay for that. I'd buy a copy of Overwatch just for that.
It's been voiced by Ted Cruz instead.
Ted Cruz.
Oh my god.
The Zodiac Killer strikes again. We got 2 more games to blast through.
Let's go for it.
Let's do some Project Cars 2.
Project Cars 2.
Project Cars 2. I have played Project Cars 1. It had all the right bits, but just wasn't put in a particularly shiny package and was a tad inaccessible. Have they improved those are the only shortcomings of it? Have they made it a little bit more suitable for humans in Project Cars 2?
I assume that you played on console, Dan.
And I have played on PC.
Okay, well, when you were playing on PC, I assumed that you were playing with a pad.
Yes. I also used a controller.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But anyway, one of the things that they particularly wanted to highlight is the fact that one of the things they've concentrated on is that it will play nicer on a controller straight out the box without you having to really jiggle around and set things up. They've got settings for that.
Actually, that was an issue on the console version as well. It was completely uncontrollable out the box with the default settings.
Yeah, and that's one of the things they definitely concentrate on. And I played a bit of the first game. I played through all the go-karts at the beginning, played a few more levels type thing. But I still, like you, I struggled with it a little bit. And it's still definitely on the sim scale of things, and they're definitely going that route. They're not kind of shying away from that. But even myself, who, as a, more arcadey racing game kind of guy, I found it definitely easier to race than I did in the first one, just from the early impressions. And we basically got to do 3 different tracks and 3 different cars. The one that was the nicest, I think, was actually a level in Scotland, which is really nice. I don't know about you, there's something nice about seeing British road signs and actual road markings that are kind of British in those sorts of things. I imagine it's the same for other people in their countries as well, but yeah, it's kind of quite nice to see that as well. And that was just a really impressive, visually looking level as well. That looked really nice. And we got to race and I might get the car model a bit wrong, but it was the McLaren 270S, I think it is. Is that the new McLaren? Does that sound right to you, Dan?
That sounds vaguely right.
But yeah, it was the new one they're showing off in the game, and the other thing they were showing off is they've actually got official Porsches, so it won't be your rough stuff anymore. It'll be more Porsche kind of things, although I think rough is still in the game. And then they've also added Ferraris to the mix as well, basically.
Wow.
And one of the things that was actually a major addition for me as well, they've, along with adding kind of weather and like, what did they call it? I think it was loose.
Weather was in the first game anyway.
Yeah, but they've kind of tweaked that a bit, and they've got even more like extended seasons and all that type of stuff. And there's the same kind of, weather there as it is outside, that type of stuff going on as it had in the first game. But they've added a few things to it as well. And one of those things is kind of more kind of ice and snowy kind of like levels.
Okay.
And concentrating on that, and then the kind of loose surface type, things, and that's all part of one of the major additions, which is the rally events, basically.
Okay.
And you know me, I like a good rally game.
You do love a good rally,
and they've put rally cross events in the game for the first time as well. Basically.
Is there any Gymkhana?
I did not see any Gymkhana. I don't think this is the right kind of venue.
Am I going to have to go and update that Wikipedia article again?
But yeah, no, generally, as I said, it's definitely more on the sim end of things, but it does seem like it's going to be a bit more accessible, especially with a controller out of the box than it was previously, and it does look really shiny and nice, Dan. I think you're really going to like the look of it, basically.
Awesome sauce.
It did look good, and yeah, sort of removing itself from the kind of in-depth simulation, people who want to get special chairs and wheels and stuff, they have made it a lot easier to just pick up and play.
But they're still supporting all of those people as well, basically.
Yeah, I still sucked at it, and I smashed the holy hell out of a McLaren on the roads of Scotland.
Now, here's the challenge, though.
Right.
Project Cars 2 release date, September the 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
Forza 7 release date, October the 3rd.
Yep.
And a week earlier if you pay for the Super Mega Edition of Forza 7.
And then, if it comes on time, Gran Turismo Sport.
Yeah.
In December, I think. But yeah. That's a lot of racing. I think one of those might get lost in the shuffle. But
That's it's ballsy going up against Forza 7, not going to lie.
I think they want to do that kind of thing. I mean, and yeah,
and they are going after different audiences.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, like the Forza 7 with the crossplay, that's PC and Xbox. But how many PlayStation 4s have they sold now that they could be really going for?
60 million.
60 million. Yeah, I think there's about one for every person in the UK now.
Yeah, so 60 million consoles. That's definitely a market you want to aim for that can't be hit by Forza. Yeah.
What?
Also, after playing it and looking at it and being shown all the cool features and stuff, that is a Dan-ass driving game.
That's a Dan-ass game, that is.
It's a Dan-ass game for a Dan-ass...
Is that another reason to get my pad out again?
Yep.
Nice.
But like Coleman says, it is the only one that's actually properly cross-platform, and I wouldn't be surprised if Gran Turismo actually slips from this year, but we'll see.
Yeah, I almost certainly will. I think it's going to be a PS5 launch title. But there is one more Bankai Namco game, and it is the balls-out crazy version of Japanese Top Gun that is Ace Combat. Ace Combat the 7th? Is it still as mad as a box of frogs? That's what I want to know.
Even though we both played this, Tim needs to take the reins because he seemed to really get into Ace Combat 7.
Yeah, it's one that I was really looking forward to when it was first announced for PSVR, and if you remember, they announced it at PlayStation Experience, and so it kind of seemed to concentrate on PSVR at the time, and I think that was, in retrospect, just because that was the bit that is exclusive to PlayStation, basically. So Ace Combat 7 is generally... a game for kind of multi-platform, multi-console. I'm not sure. Was it PC as well? I definitely know it's Xbox One. And,
PC as well.
Yeah, okay. And yeah, it's... yeah, as I said, it was one I was really looking forward to, particularly for the PSVR content. But then I was a bit worried because they seemed to dial it back a bit when, like, my perception, and I think it was just my perception because it was announced at PSX, was that it was just a PSVR game. And then when they announced the fact that Ace Combat 7 was being made and there was PSVR exclusive levels within it, then I was a little bit worried. It's a game that kind of appeals to me, and a series that I've played a little bit of before, and quite liked what I saw. And it's one that I'm like, okay, I could really get into this if I put a bit more time into it, sort of thing. And I do like my kind of flight sims and the kind of more arcadey type of things. And yeah, from the gameplay experience that we played of Ace Combat 7, it definitely reminds me of kind of more like G-Lock, if you remember that arcade experience, than than Afterburner,
very much so.
But yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, G-Lock is a very old arcade game. It was like one of the like really expensive arcade games back in the day. But it had a whole 360
degree
had a whole
rotating
360 degree of rotation where you can flip up. And
throw up as well.
Well, possibly, but no, I
did see someone throw up on one of those.
One of the first things I actually did in the VR thing was actually do a barrel roll because it's on brand. But then I did a loop the loop as well, and just kind of made sure I was like, nope, I'm cool. Like, let's go, and kind of got stuck into it. But yeah, I mean, we've actually hopefully got a video of the non-PSVR content coming up. And yeah, we played through that, and I think both myself and Coleman played through that. And Coleman, someone with a bit less experience with that type of thing, did you enjoy playing through that? Was it good?
I did. I don't think it'd be a day one purchase for me, just because I don't know how much longevity I'd get out of Ace Combat. My previous experience to the franchises, I think Ace Combat 5 or 6, I went to go play it on a demo unit. I queued up for ages. I've told the story before. Queued up for ages, got to the front, picked up the controller, took off, and then immediately nosedived into the pool. And then they went, well, that's your game up, back to the queue. I queued for like 45 minutes to play this goddamn game. Well, what experience can I take away from this? Ace Combat's not the game for me. That's
yep, pretty much.
But this was a lot easier. Like they had they allowed you to skip the takeoff for once if you wanted.
Yeah, that was strange because we accidentally did that while we were playing the non-PSVR version, and I think that was actually a good thing to say for going in VR, basically. But all you do on takeoff is hold down the right trigger, so it's not exactly difficult. Like, it even picks up the nose a bit for you as you take off, basically. So, like, it wasn't really hard. But and that was quite a cool little cutscene type thing, anyway. But yeah, and I said, yeah, it played well even without the VR, and I kind of enjoyed my time with it, basically. Yeah, as I said, it was kind of what I was expecting. Looks really nice, though. Looks really good. And yeah, I kind of enjoyed that. But in VR, that was something else. Like, basically, I now completely understand why the VR levels have to be separate from the main game.
Right.
And there's no reason why they couldn't like dial this out and make it an entirely separate game, other than I guess they'll get more sales from the main game if they just make it part of the VR thing, which is going to be a weird thing going forward. But anyway, but yeah, generally the main difference is the fact that your kind of special missile type things, and I'm not sure what the acronym stands for, but it's QAAM with the type of missiles that we were using in that had the thing I'm coming on to, which is head tracking, which is something that I was really keen to see in this game, because anyone that's played Eve Valkyrie a bit, the head tracking in that, when you're like shooting something over your right shoulder, it takes those sort of games to another level, and I'm so glad they've got at least an element of this. Your basic missiles don't have head tracking, but your kind of special missiles, which you've got a limited supply of, do.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Are you essentially headbutting aeroplanes to death?
Well, no. This is the thing. Yeah, it's right. You almost have to do that with a traditional flight sim game. Basically, the only way you can really get lock-ons, and it does kind of stretch this a bit. Your special missiles have a kind of more elastic kind of zone where you can get a lock-on in, basically. And they kind of get around it in that way. But this is much better. Basically, what it allows you to do, it allows you to, keep tracking someone as they fly past your cockpit and as they're going over you or as you're going in and behind them. And it makes such a difference to being able to get a lock on to targets and targeting people. And it feels so different. Like literally, as soon as I ran out of those special missiles, like, I've got to go back to the old fashioned way where, like in most of these type of games, you have to line up the nose of the plane exactly where you're shooting with, even with your missiles. And yeah, like as I said, it literally adds a whole nother dimension to the game, and I can see why they then can't have you going up against like other players in the non-VR like modes. Like if you're trying to like
because you're going to have a massive advantage because you can keep an eye on everything a lot easier.
Exactly, and the VR mode seemed to have, and I don't know if it was just this one particular level that they had on show or it's something that they are looking at concentrating on. This seemed to have like a series of timed and quite tight times. They were usually about 3 minutes long. Like, okay, you got to take down this number of enemies in this time, and now we're coming on, you're being attacked by a drone. And there was this thing in the other level that we played in the non-VR where it was a massive craft that drops a loads of drones basically, and there was a kind of slightly smaller version of that with basically you get attacked by a load of drones basically. And yeah, it's kind of taking out different ships, taking out drones, doing different things. And yeah, one of the things that they highlighted in the presentation that we saw before, and one of the things I got to try that was even more kind of immersive, for want of a better word, in VR, was using cloud cover to your advantage, and using that to lose missiles and using that to kind of stop people getting lock on you and kind of breaking line of sight. And yeah, they had this nice kind of effect where it kind of fogs up and you get the kind of water vapor on the cockpit of the plane and stuff like that. That is something I haven't seen done as well as it was done in this game, basically. So that's something that I'm excited to see, like how well they use that and how that mechanic comes into play fully. But yeah, as I said, it looks like it's implemented really well, and I was really pleased to see that the VR was what I was hoping for from that type of game. This is one of those things that I was literally looking forward to when I got the PSVR. It's a shame it's been delayed till next year, but you know, I'd rather it was delayed than broken, and this is shaping up really well. This is one of my most anticipated VR games, basically.
Well, Tim, that's quite enough out of you, fella my lad. All I'm saying, Project Cars 2, talked about it quickly, because I was talking about that. Ace Combat 7 went on forever. Just saying.
Okay.
Just saying. So back, according to popular demand, well, the fact that I just completely checked out of the Great British Debate last week. The Great British Debate is back! It's back, and I'm going to put you two against one another. Woo-hoo! Because reasons. So, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but we're going to talk about it some more.
It's a hot topic.
So the question I put to you two as part of the Great British Debate is PlayStation Now?
Have you not read
Is PlayStation Now worth it now? Who wrote this damn sentence?
Possibly me.
Right, is PlayStation Now worth it now that it has PS4 titles in it? Arguing yes it is worth it is Timothy J. Hibbs, Esquire.
Mm-hmm.
Arguing no it is not is the man of mystery himself, Coleman.
You only just called me that because you don't know my middle name.
I don't even know your first name. No, I do know your first name.
Who are you?
E-Bob.
If you need to know someone's name on the site, there's a 50-50 chance his name is Chris.
Yes.
It's that voice I hear once a week.
Anyway, gentlemen, you are going to have 30 seconds. Coleman! You shall go second. Tim.
Oh!
You shall go first.
Oh,
so you have 30
contenders.
seconds to argue why PS Now's worth it. Now!
Yes, it is worth it. It is finally worth it. They've actually added PS4 games. This is what everyone was kind of waiting for. The service was kind of definitely lacking them to start with. And it may not be for everyone. And in fact, it may not be for any of us. That doesn't mean that it's not a bad time to actually get it. And it's not actually now worth it now that they've actually added a layer of PS4 games for it. Like we said earlier in the show, if someone's late to the party, just picked up a PS4 or, you know, picked up a PS4 and didn't play PS3, there's a lot of games to play.
He's terrible at this.
Yep.
He's the one who wanted it back.
High on facts, low on comedy. Coleman?
Yo!
Do better. You have 30 seconds, starting from now.
PlayStation Now is not worth the entry of $12.99, $13.99. It doesn't even matter. It's more expensive
You're adding
than
more
the
money.
Xbox version of the same product. But instead of using these rubbish streaming services, which we proved just don't work in the UK because our internet is so archaic with copper wiring still in play, but the Xbox allows you to download these programs and these games. You can't do that on the PlayStation. And that's why I say, to PlayStation Now, to Gaikai, to streaming games.
That's your lot.
Boom.
Well,
Gaikai doesn't exist anymore. You can't say to something doesn't exist.
It still exists, technically.
But he did have a more impassioned opinion than you, Tim.
Oh, so we're giving it passion now, are we?
Well, you need to get your back into this argument, Tim. I can't just have you phoning it in. Can I?
Says the man that literally said 4 words last week.
I just want to point out that's like my third time swearing on the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Coleman, there is a man who's passionate about his cause, and his passion is saying testicles to things. And he got to do that in that little argument, and for that reason, Coleman wins. PlayStation Now is not now worth it now for PS4. Tim, shut up. In your face. Well done, Coleman.
You want down on side? Say the naughty words with
the Coleman, how does it feel?
It feels good. I've won my first Great British Debate.
Well, there
Congratulations.
You go.
I'm happy with this.
We broke your Great British Debate cherry.
I mean, I've been in a Great British Debate, but it didn't count because Kev with me were tag teaming.
Oh, right.
As we tend to do from time to time.
Congratulations, Coleman.
Thank you, Dan.
You were the first victor in Season 2 of Great British Debate.
Season 2, Jesus.
Yep. And this season is Tarragon, you'll be pleased to know.
Oh, lovely.
I
I'd like
so.
a bit of Tarragon.
Anyway, we need to get out of here because we talked for far too long, as per usual. But Timothy, Tuesday's a Tuesday. Tell us what's happening on the Tuesday that is Tuesday.
Yes, Tuesday is a Tuesday, and continuing in our Tuesdayness, it's basically, anyone that doesn't know, each Tuesday we have an event called Tabletop Tuesday, which happens at the loading bar every week on a Tuesday, hence the Tabletop Tuesday name and stuff. And each week we have a different feature game. If you play that feature game that evening, you have a chance of winning a copy of that game at the end of the evening. We are also doing an extra special event at the moment where we're having a series of games that are all based on video games. So last week we had a game called Russian Bash, which was kind of based on a kind of Mario Kart-esque game, and that went down really well. People really enjoyed it. Most groups asked to play again, which is always a good sign, and that was a good one. So and this week we're going like slightly departure from a board game to a small card game type thing. There's a quick, easy to play card game, and it is a game called Gobbit Angry Birds. So it's based on the Angry Birds universe, and it does have some of the Angry Bird characters in it, and it's a game called Gobbit that's got some rules slightly changed for this Angry Birds version, basically. But for anyone it's not quite, but it's sort of a bit like Dobble-ish. It kind of reminds me of that, possibly because of the tin, but it's a bit like a kind of glorified version of Snap, and that's kind of underplaying it a little bit, but I think it's going to be a good, fun, silly game for the bar, basically, especially when people are drunk. It's one of those things where, as I've maintained and have proved time and time again, the best kids games make the best drinking games, basically. So I think this one should be fun. Come along and you can possibly win yourself a copy. Also, kindly of Namco Bandai. And are we saying that the right way around? Is it that way around? I keep on confusing myself. Is it Bandai Namco these days?
It's Banco Bandai.
But I think overseas it's Bandai.
No, it's changed. It's all been like universally put back the same way now.
Let's call it Bandai and or Namco.
Let's call it Bandai Namco Bandai Namco.
Bamco Nandai. Carry on.
Bando Namco Bandai, just to be sure.
Carry on, Tim.
Right, anyway. But they've very kindly given us a few extra goodies from some Tekken stuff, courtesy of the nice people at...
Oh, let me guess, Namco Bandai.
No, Numskull, actually. But they've given us a couple of things to add to our already quite large video game booty bag of brilliance. But yeah, loads of prizes going in there, and that's for anyone that's been along to one of our video game series in the last couple of weeks. And we've still got 1 week for sure, possibly 2 going forward, and then we'll be giving away that massive prize load of stuff as well. So yeah, and all you got to do is come along and play the game on a Tuesday. So yeah, we got loads of stuff in that. Come play.
Good, marvellous. Shush now. And back in your hole.
Back in your hole.
Back in your hole, Tim.
In your bed on your rug.
So anyway, that is our lot. We've spoken for far too long. But first of all, we do need to say thank you to a couple of people. Yes, we do. From the forums, I would like to say thank you to Richard Kirk, Dangerous Brian, the Q.
You're not doing it right.
The Q.
No.
The Q.
With a Q, question mark, and an exclamation mark, it's the Q.
Q?
Oh, as in Shenmue?
Shenmue?
Excellent, got it. Stealthy Joe and Stingo.
And from the Twitters, I'd like to thank Damien Cooper, Ian Alexander Crane, extra thank you for your work last week. But anyway, Will Driver, Mr. Mark Fawcett, and he did educate me on how to pronounce his name, so I'm going to have to do this right.
It's fairly easy, you just say what you see, Timothy.
But it's not, though.
It is. It's Janzan Tinga.
I thought you said you got it right.
No, I didn't think you did.
Janzan Tinga!
That's how to pronounce it.
That's just reading 2 names I've been able to do The Lion King.
And Sikander, thank you very much, sir.
Also, thank you to Spencer H., Gabriel Romo, Chris Turner, Nelly, Rob Evans, Catherine Payne. On Facebook, thank you to Scott Van Berg. And on YouTube, thank you to Vladimir Kozak, or
Is that
as
Tidge?
Dan likes to call him, Tits Vozelman.
Yay, tits. Did I just seriously say yay, tits out loud without
Yes,
checking
you
myself?
did, Dan.
Marvellous.
On
Good.
the internet and everything.
Excellent. Yay, brilliant. Good.
Also, before we go, just to let you know, Big Red Barrel Cast, they're recording again. I was on their last episode. And the episode before that.
Go
and
listen.
then I believe this week they said they are recording another new episode with Dave back in the driving seat. Dave!
Who?
Dave!
Who?
He's a Dave.
He's
No, he's
alive,
not.
Dave. He's alive.
And he also
He's
got
alive.
He's a married Dave.
And also, while we're talking about podcasts, we've also got Geek Speak. They are still putting out episodes weekly, just like we do. So
I'm really glad you followed that up with episodes.
Yeah, go listen
Geek Speak,
to...
they're still putting out every week.
Go listen to Geek Speak, go listen to the Barrelcast. Those are your hopefully that's now your 3 main shows that are continuously putting out content until we get the other 2 back on board.
Splendid.
Which should hopefully be pretty soon.
Splendid. Splendid. Anyway, that is your lot. We need to get out of here. So without further ado, I have been Dan.
I might have been Tim.
Yep.
I've been Dan's tiny manhole.
You have.
Manhole? I thought it was man cave.
Oh, was it man cave? Oh, it was manhole for some reason.
His tiny manhole sounds way
Just to show you
worse.
how innocent I am these days, I pictured a little corrugated iron little manhole there.
Oh.
I'll just go with being cold. Actually, no, I have been Doomfist.
What happened to you, Dan? There was a time you would have been all over that manhole.
No, Timothy, just no.
All over your manhole.
Yo, it's your boy. I'm gonna be wrecking some manholes today, man. Anyway, it's time to go. I think it is.
Okay.
So thank you ever so much for listening, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, make sure to check out www.bigredbarrel.com and put /bigredbarrel after just about anything on the internet, and you'll probably find us. So, thank you so much for listening, and until next time, dear listeners, toodle bye.
And your ears are quite welcome.
For the podcasting goodness that you just heard.
Why not roll on over
To BigRedBarrel.com
for more podcasts,
news, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet. BigRedBarrel.com.
Tarragon?